woman sends a text. No reply. She checks her phone 10 times in an hour. She rewrites the next message 3 times before sending it. She cancels plans with friends just in case he responds and wants to meet. Meanwhile, the man who received the message hasn't looked at his phone once. He is not playing games. He is not strategizing. He simply has other things. At that moment, only one person in this situation has power. And it is not the person trying harder. It is not the person who cares more. It is the person who can walk away without losing a piece of themselves. This is one of the most uncomfortable truths in all of human psychology. The person who cares less almost always wins. In relationships, in negotiations, in business. In every room where 2 people want different things from each other. And once you see this pattern, you will never stop seeing it. There is a force that operates beneath every human interaction. Most people never learn its name. Psychologists call it the principle of least interest. It states that in any relationship, whether personal or professional, the person with the least emotional investment holds the most power. Not the smartest person, not the most talented, not the one who wants it most, the one who needs it least. This is one of the most uncomfortable truths in all of human behavior, because it means that the very intensity of your desire, the thing you were told was your greatest strength, can become your greatest weakness the moment someone else can see it. Think about every negotiation you have ever been in. A salary discussion, a business deal, a purchase you wanted badly. The moment the other side sensed how much you needed the outcome, everything shifted. Prices went up. Terms changed. The leverage disappeared. Not because the deal changed, because your desperation changed the deal. The buyer who walks in ready to leave without buying always gets a better price than the buyer who falls in love with the product before opening his mouth. This is not a theory. This is the daily reality of every transaction in the world. Now look at relationships. The same law operates without mercy. The person chasing is never the person with power. Every text sent without a reply. Every plan adjusted to accommodate the other person. Every time you made yourself smaller to keep someone comfortable. That was you surrendering leverage you didn't even know you had. And the person on the other side, whether consciously or not, felt your need. And need repels. Not because people are cruel, but because need signals low value. And the human brain, hardwired by millions of years of social survival, always moves toward high value and away from desperation. The Stoics understood this on a philosophical level long before modern psychology gave it a name. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became one of the most influential philosophers in history, wrote that freedom begins the moment you stop needing external things to feel complete. He had nothing. He owned nothing. And yet every account of his life describes a man of complete and total power. Not because of what he possessed, but because nothing outside of him could touch what was inside. His detachment was not emptiness. It was armor. Warren Buffett has practiced this same principle in the world of money for over 60 years. While markets panic, while investors flood sell orders in fear, while financial media screams catastrophe, Buffett does not move. He waits. He has said publicly that his favorite holding period is forever. Not because he is indifferent to money, but because he has trained himself to be completely unmoved by short-term noise. And that detachment, that refusal to need the immediate outcome, is precisely what allows him to buy when everyone else is selling and hold when everyone else is running. The market rewards patience the same way people reward detachment, with more than you asked for. Now imagine this. 2 men are competing for the same business contract. The first man needs it. His business is struggling, his debts are mounting, and this contract represents the difference between survival and collapse. He prepares obsessively, follows up constantly, adjusts his proposal every time the client expresses any doubt, and in every meeting his hunger is visible in the speed of his answers, the tension in his smile, and the way he leans slightly too far forward. The second man wants the contract but does not need it. He has other options. He presents his proposal once, clearly and without apology, and when the client pushes back, he does not scramble. He nods calmly and says, I understand. This may not be the right fit. The client, who has felt pursued and catered to by dozens of desperate vendors, feels something unusual in the room. Resistance, indifference, and suddenly, without fully understanding why, wants the second man's approval more than the second man wants the deal. The contract goes to the second man, not because his work was better, because his detachment made him look like the most valuable person in the room. This is the wealth dimension of this law that most people completely miss. In business, the person who negotiates from desperation always leaves money on the table. Always. The investor who must close this deal, the employee who must keep this job, the entrepreneur who must land this client, they all pay a premium for their own need. But the person who has built enough options, enough savings, enough alternative paths, they negotiate from a position of genuine indifference. And genuine indifference is the most powerful negotiating position that exists. Build your options before you need them, because the day you actually need them is already too late. So how do you become this person? 3 principles. Write these down. First, build options before you need them. In your career, in your relationships, in your finances. Options are not backup plans. Options are the source of your freedom. The employee with one job and no savings negotiates from fear. The employee with skills, savings, and 3 other offers negotiates from power. The goal is not to be indifferent to everything. The goal is to have enough options that your well-being never depends entirely on any single outcome. Second, let people come to you. Stop adjusting yourself to be chosen. Every time you chase, you signal need. Every time you wait, you signal value. This does not mean passive inaction. It means doing the work, building the substance, and then allowing the quality of what you have built to pull people toward you rather than running after them. The person who is always available is never valued. The person who is genuinely occupied with building something real becomes interesting by default. Third, detach from the outcome. This is the hardest principle. It is not about not caring. It is about releasing your grip on results you cannot control. Do the work completely. Bring your full capability to every table. And then release the outcome. Because the moment your peace of mind depends on a specific result, you have already handed power to whoever controls that result. Do the work. Then let go. The result will speak for itself or it will not. Either way, you remain intact. The most dangerous person in any room is not the most aggressive. It is not the loudest. It is the one who genuinely does not need anything from you, who came prepared, who offered value, and who will walk away without losing a single piece of themselves if the answer is no. That person is impossible to manipulate, impossible to pressure, impossible to control, because the only lever anyone has over you is what you need from them. Remove the need. Remove the lever. Remove the control. Stop trying to be chosen. Become the person who chooses. The next law drops soon. Until then, stay dangerous.